It feels good because I want my vote to count this year. It's been a tough race.
The times that I've been voting, I have never seen this many people, and everybody's just really seems to be enthusiastic about voting.
It was just my duty, my civic duty, and the duty to my ancestors.
Approximately 30 million voters across the country have already cast their ballots. So what kind of insights does this give us about the state of the race? CBS News Deputy Director of Elections and Data Analytics, Kabir Khanna, joins us now. Kabir, good to see you. Do we know how these people are voting?
Yes, we do. So of the 30 million ballots that have been cast already, the majority, 17 million, have come in by mail. And that includes coming from states that run their elections almost entirely by mail, big states like California, for example. The remaining 13 million have been cast in person at early voting locations around the country. Georgia is a great example of a state where that is the main way people vote these days. Any
battleground states in the former, if we've got a battleground state in person, any battleground states in the mostly by mail? Arizona, right?
Arizona is 80% plus by mail. Yeah. And this year, again, we expect the vast majority to be cast that way. I'll show you a little bit more data of the types of people in Arizona and other battlegrounds that are voting.
Okay.
Before I do that, though, let me just give you a little bit of context. We look at this data for a variety of reasons, and the campaigns pay very close attention to early voting data, not necessarily because they want to predict whether they're going to win or lose. What they're really doing is trying to increase the efficiency of getting out the vote. They have lists of registered voters in each of these states. They go down person by person and knock on their door, send them a postcard, text message them. If they see that you've already voted, they cross your name off the list and devote their resources to those who have not turned out yet. So that is a major factor helping the efficiency of the campaigns in their ground game in this final stretch as we head into Election Day.
So what else can you tell us about the demographics of some of the people who have already voted and really what this means for some of the battleground states we're tracking so closely?
Let's talk about 3 battleground states that are very close in the polls and where the campaigns have been spending a lot of their time recently. So in Georgia, over 2 million people have voted early already. They have smashed early voting records in that state, a very healthy turnout. As you can see, most or nearly half of the total votes we expect to see in that state have already been cast. In Pennsylvania and Arizona, we have over 1 million already. In Pennsylvania, this is basically mail ballots. One interesting thing we see from voter files is that most early voters so far are female. And we also know these days that women tend to lean Democratic. I would caution you, this doesn't necessarily mean Democrats are on track to win, because if you compare the percentage that are female this year to early voters in 2020, it's quite close. It's actually running maybe a notch below. What I would take away from this data is that turnout so far is very healthy and demographically similar to what we saw in the past. The vast majority of early voters also voted early 4 years ago, because it turns out when you give people the convenience of skipping lines and casting their ballot ahead of Election Day, many take it. Can I tell you one more thing about the early voters? So let's look at party registration in Pennsylvania and Arizona, 2 of those 3 states that you can register by party. In Pennsylvania, it's Democrats who disproportionately are choosing to vote before Election Day by mail. And in Arizona, as you mentioned, this is a state with a long history of voting by mail before Election Day. It's actually Republicans slightly outpacing Democrats in that state. Now, again, the reason we're paying attention to this at CBS is because a big part of the puzzle on Election Day is turnout. How many people will vote, period? Well, about half of that puzzle will be solved ahead of Election Day, because we can tell you the precise number of early voters in every state and county. All we'll be waiting to see in states like Pennsylvania and Arizona is whether the side that's down can close the gap with that Election Day turnout.
Wow.
That's what we'll be tracking at the data desk.
Okay, Kabir Khanna, looking forward to that potentially long night. Thank you so much.
Thank you.